All right, guys. I had someone who messaged me, sent me a comment on YouTube in regards to the MMD. Sorry again, the car's in the garage. I just got home. It's really windy outside, so the MMD by Foose rear diffuser. This was one of the parts that I did not install. I had a buddy who's he has a body shop, and he ended up putting on the side splitters, the rear splitters, the rear diffuser, and the GT500 rear spoiler. So I gave him all the parts, and he put everything on. So I'm going to do my best to not put my finger in front of the camera. I'm going to do my best to possibly show what it looks like. I guess some people are having a problem with the rear splitter. That's where it meets. So it doesn't look like there was any issue. You know, went straight along. It's going to get dark. I don't know if we're going to be able to see or not. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm getting enough light. In any case, I mean, this thing just looks like it bolted right up. There's little snaps and then kind of glues in, or double stick tape rather. So there it is there. That's a good look as to where it met up with the rear splitter. So you know, I'm sorry. This is, of all the parts that I've had put on, this rear diffuser is one part that I did not install. So unfortunately I don't have that much input on it. I was gonna get the car on a lift on Monday at my buddy's garage, but he was a little busy, so he didn't have a lift open. We changed the spark plugs on Monday, went one step colder on the spark plugs, and I was planning on getting it on a lift so I could show the MMD rear diffuser, but it just didn't happen that day. So in the meantime, I'll show you some other mods here if it doesn't get washed out. I put the Boss 302 covers on, even though this is a Cobra Jet intake manifold. I read online that the Boss 302 engine covers will fit, and basically that covers up the exposed fuel rails. So you can see it does fit right in the same. There's a couple screws that hold it on, and a bracket on the driver's side towards the rear, towards the firewall, that you have to mount. You know, it does make the engine look a lot cleaner than showing the exposed fuel rails and such, but you know, $130 I think for essentially, these are like a foam rubber kind of thing, and they don't even give you the screws for the bracket. So the other two screws come out from the fuel rail, and then you just screw it back in. But yeah, it was kind of funny. For $130 some, all you get are kind of foam padded things with no screws supplied. But in any case, you know, about a 10-minute install. Just had to take the strut brace off and pop those couple of screws and then screw that one bracket in. Really wasn't a big deal, but it does clean up the engine bay a little bit. The other thing I got for $10, I think it was JLT, is the plug for the vent to keep water from getting in. I'm not sure, but I have the Ford Racing 102 millimeter cold air intake that we mounted up to the 65 millimeter throttle body, twin 65 millimeter throttle body, when we put the Cobra Jet intake manifold on. And my other air intake that I had was the air raid, and that came with a lid that had kind of like a stainless cover over the top. So I didn't really worry about water getting on there and screwing with the MAF. So I don't know if it was just me or whatever, and I felt like the one time I washed it and it just didn't run right after that. So I don't know if some water got on there or if there's some unrelated issue. But in any case, you know, some people online say, it's a waste of money. It was $10, $9.95 shipped. So you know what? For $10 and peace of mind, I'll just put it in there. It literally is just this piece of foam right there. So as you can see on the other side, this is what the vent looked like initially. It was all open like that, and then they just give you this little foam plug that's supposed to keep the water out. And I haven't had any water since. I don't drive the car in the rain necessarily, but you know, sometimes when you wash or whatever, you might get some in there. And that's all it is. It just fits right in there, and that's it. Hasn't popped out at all. You can see this one edge here. You know, you just want to make sure it kind of seals up, but no issues so far. And like I said, for $10, it's good peace of mind. So yeah, that's about it. I had an appointment for a tune, a dyno tune, on a hub dyno, for this coming Tuesday, which would have been March 14th, at Evans Tuning in Mount Bethel, PA. However, just as luck would have it, I scheduled that probably about 2 months ago, and the chance of a snowstorm has now come into play. So it looks like I'm probably going to have to cancel that appointment. Go figure, we haven't really had much snow all year, and now we're in the middle of March and they're calling for a snowstorm. So I'm going to give it a couple more days, because we all know how weather can be. Could change tomorrow, but chances are I'm going to postpone that, reschedule until maybe the first week of April, just to hopefully clear out any chance of bad weather. It's about an hour drive from where I'm at, so and it's through some upper elevation, so I don't think I'm going to want to take the chance on driving this in that weather. So unfortunately, I was hoping to do a video of us down there, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen until you know, probably April now. So, but no big deal. You know, I'm hoping to get maybe squeeze an extra 20 horsepower. For those of you who don't know, I am running a Bama tune, the email tune, and the car is running okay. It's a little jittery. The idle's bouncing around a little bit, and like 3,000 RPM to maybe about 4,000 RPM. It feels like it's losing a little bit of power, and then at over 4,000, it pulls like a freight train. It's unbelievable with that Cobra Jet on there, how hard it pulls. But you know, I'm thinking I'm probably leaving maybe 20 horsepower on the table, so I'm hoping a dyno tune will help. We were originally going to data log the car and send it back to Bama, but someone turned me on to this Evans Tuning in Mount Bethel, said he's really good.